Hi guys, it's Graham again and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a book tag and it is called the Stay at Home book tag and it was originally created by Princess of Paperback. I will link the original video down below and Princess of Paperback's channel as well. Give her a check out because her channel is very good. There are, where is my screenshot? There are 9 prompts, 8 prompts and a bonus. I'm going to say 9. And it's the stay at home book tag. Obviously we're all still at home, we're all kind of still locked down. And yeah, let's get into it. So the first prompt is laying in bed. A book you could or have read in a day. So for this I have chosen a trilogy. And over 3 days back in 2016 I devoured these. They are middle grade and they're by an author called Caveney or Caveney. They are brilliant. So we have Crowboy, we have 17 Coffins, and we have One for Sorrow. So these tell the story of a boy called Tom Affleck, who is originally from Manchester. His parents divorce and he moves up to Scotland with his mum. In Crowboy, he's on a trip to Mary King's Close, which is on the Royal Mile. It's sort of a preserved street that's underground, and it's all haunted and spooky, and yeah. He bumps his head and when he wakes up, he's travelled back in time to the time of the Black Death, the plague. And yeah, it's very good. Absolutely brilliant. And the idea of it being set in Edinburgh, I'm Scottish, so that appeals to me. Time travel, I'm a fan of Doctor Who, that appeals to me. And it was really, really very good. And yeah, if you get a chance to read that, go for it. Crowboy by Philip Caveney. Maybe I'll learn to speak. The next one was 17 Coffins. This is basically the same. He has an accident, he travels back in time. This time it's a bit less far back in the past. He travels to Edinburgh again in the past, where he meets up with Burke and Hare. And yeah, you can imagine how that goes. And the 17 Coffins is a true story. They are in the museum in Edinburgh. They were found buried on a hillside, and they have little people inside them with outfits and stuff on. And no one really knows the significance of these 17 coffins, but it's explained in the book. Very good. 17 Coffins by Philip Caveney. And the third one in that choice is One for Sorrow, which is the last book in the trilogy, and this had me howling because, yeah, I'm not going to give it away, but yeah, sad things happen. He travels back in time again in Edinburgh, and this time he meets up with Robert Louis Stevenson, who wrote Treasure Island and Jekyll and Hyde, and yeah, it's really very good. So yeah, One for Sorrow by Philip Caveney. So that is the Crowboy trilogy. That's a brilliant trilogy to read that you can read in a day. The second, I'm getting all mixed up here. Getting myself all mixed up. So the second one is snacking, guilty pleasure book. I wouldn't say that this is a guilty pleasure, but this book does give me pleasure when I read it. It's one of my favourite books, if not my favourite book ever. And it's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. This edition I picked up in a charity shop for 50p. Can you believe it? I was absolutely staggered and I felt like I had shoplifted. Obviously, this tells the story of Alice, who falls down the rabbit hole, ends up in Wonderland, meets a host of weird and wonderful characters, and has an adventure. This is the Penguin Classics edition, and it's just beautiful. And I suppose, yeah, this is my guilty my guilty pleasure read, and I love it. The next one is Netflix. So it's a series you want to start. I have chosen a series I have already started. There are 13 books in this series. I have the reading order of them here. I've only read the first one, and I want to continue with it. So not strictly a series I want to start, one that I want to finish, one that I want to continue. So this is a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket, and this is number 1, The Bad Beginning. And the rest of the books are The Reptile Room, The Wide Window, The Miserable Mill, Austere Academy, The Ersatz Elevator, The Vile Village, The Hostile Hospital, The Carnivorous Carnival, The Slippery Slope, The Grim Grotto, The Penultimate Peril, and The End. And as we speak, the rest of the series is on a shelf just above my head, up there. I actually bought the series when my husband and I were on holiday in February, which seems like years ago now. We were in Balmoral celebrating our 8th wedding anniversary, and there was a single charity shop in Ballater, and I saw the entire series, and it only cost me £6, and I couldn't not. I had to get them, and yeah, they were difficult to pack because I'd already bought a lot of other books in other bookshops in Ballater. So yeah, that the car was laden when we came back because we'd bought so much. We didn't realise quite how much we had actually purchased while we were there. Mostly with me, it was books. Yeah, so that's a series of unfortunate events. A series I want to start, continue. Yeah. So the next question, let me get back. The next question was Deep Clean, a book that's been on your TBR for ages. Okay, that's easy. The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. My husband and I met Erin Morgenstern last November in Talking and Company in Edinburgh, and she was a beautiful human being, absolutely amazing. She read some of this book, and I had never up until about 2 weeks before read The Night Circus, and I absolutely loved it. And I still haven't gotten to this book. I think it's because I don't want it not to, I don't want it to be, what's the word? I don't want to read it and then not have that pleasure of reading it for the first time if I reread it. Does that make sense? It makes sense in my head. I don't think I'm getting it quite out of my mouth the way it sounds in my head. I think you'll probably understand what I mean. So yeah, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. And isn't this edition just gorgeous as well? I mean, look at that. And obviously because I met Erin Morgenstern, she signed it for me. Treasured possession, and weirdly I have 2, and she signed both of them for me. I think the tickets that we bought for the event, they both had a book, so basically one of the books is my husband's, but it's signed to me. Sorry Duncan, oops. Yeah. So the next one is Animal Crossing, a book you recently bought because of hype. Okay, so a book I recently bought because of hype was the Bass Rock by Evie Wilde. Simon Savage raved about this book, and I still haven't read it. Now, the Bass Rock is a rock island off the coast of Scotland, and yeah, it's my husband and I have a boat, and we have sailed past the Bass Rock a lot of times. There's a lighthouse on the island, there's lots of seagulls. If you're sailing past it and the wind is going in a certain direction, seagull poop doesn't smell good, especially if there's like hundreds and thousands of seagulls. But yeah, I bought this because of hype, and obviously a book that is as beautiful as that, I couldn't not have it. I think there's a bit of sort of witchiness in this, a bit of intrigue. So yeah, there we go. That's The Bass Rock by Evie Wilde. The next one is Productivity, a book you learnt or had an impact on you. I'm not sure if that's a typo or if I'm not understanding how that question has been put. But a book that had an impact on me was one that I just read just recently, and it was Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This book was absolutely glorious. This tells the story of Shakespeare's son Hamnet, who is one of a set of twins, and his twin sister Judith, who is considered the weaker of the two children. She gets the plague. Hamnet loves his sister so deeply that he basically pleads with death to take him and spare his sister. His sister survives. He unfortunately doesn't. And then a few years after his death, his father writes the play Hamlet. It's about how we deal with grief, and how grief affects us down the years, the loss of a loved one, and it was just beautiful. I've said this before, this was my first Maggie O'Farrell, and it's not going to be my last, because Maggie O'Farrell's writing, especially in this book, is beautiful. And I can't wait to read more. And also, it's just a thing of absolute beauty. And I'm sure underneath there is a design. Yes. So it's the design that's on the front cover as well. It's picked out in gold relief. It's absolutely a beautiful book. And the end papers as well. I mean, I'd have that as a wallpaper. Absolutely. Anyway, on to the next one. So the next one is Facetime, a book you were gifted. Okay, so I'm going to choose Me by Elton John for this one. Now, my husband and I read this together while we were on holiday in Balmoral in February. Again, it seems like decades ago, because we've been locked down pretty much since we came back. And yeah, so this is Elton John's autobiography. It charts the time from when he was a part of a band who played in restaurants and dance halls and all that kind of thing back in the 1960s, right up until pretty much present day. Elton John's writing in this is just superb. It's hilarious, it's sad, it's poignant, and I feel like I'm a little closer to Elton John now because I've read this. And I know that sounds really quite arsey, but it's kind of that sort of the friendly way he's written it. And yeah, I have always been a fan of Elton John, but now I have a better understanding of him and what makes him tick, and the things he's been through, and I have a deeper appreciation for him as a person and not just a musician. And if you get a chance to read this, it's one that I would highly recommend that you do because it is incredible. So yeah, that's Me by Elton John. Now, the last two, let's see. So, self-care. What is one thing you have done recently to look after yourself? Bought lots of books. I have bought lots and lots of books because it makes me happy. We're stuck in the house. We're on lockdown. The coronavirus doesn't seem to be going anywhere. The news is depressing, and yeah, I'm furloughed. I'm at home. So what have I got to do but buy books? But it's weird because I've been buying lots of books, but at the same time, I feel like I don't have the concentration to fully enjoy a book. I mean, I have really enjoyed the books that I've read recently, give or take a couple of exceptions to that. But I don't know, just certainly over the last couple of weeks, whenever I've been reading a book, it's felt like the words have been swimming across the page, and I don't know if that's just me or if anyone else has felt that. Have you felt that? Do you understand what I mean? Comment below and let's have a chat about it. So that's my answer to that. I've bought lots of books because it makes me happy, or it makes me happier. So the last one is bonus. Name a book coming out soon. Okay, so I've taken a screenshot of this book. Let me see if it'll turn that way. No, it won't. I'll have to show you it this way. So this is coming out in January next year, and it is The Dare by Leslie Cara. Leslie Cara is one of my new favourite crime novelists. She's written 2 books previously. She's written a book called The Rumour and a book called Who Did You Tell? They're both set in the same seaside town. The Rumour discusses a rumour that is started at the school gates, and it talks about how rumours can grow arms and legs, and yeah, and it's twisty, it's turny, it's dark, it's just amazing, and you need to read that. It's fabulous. The next one is Who Did You Tell? And that discusses a woman's struggle with alcoholism. She's recovering from that. You get snatches of her past, and she might have done something that's a bit not very nice. But yeah, that's really twisty as well. And I thoroughly recommend both of those books. The Rumour, Who Did You Tell? By Leslie Cara. And I can't wait for this. As soon as I knew that this was available, I pre-ordered this. And it comes out in January next year, 2021. And I can't wait. So I have no idea what it's about, because I don't think there's a synopsis ready for it. The tagline says, as a child, it was just a game. As an adult, it was a living nightmare. Oh, that sounds incredible. So that was the stay-at-home book tag. I'm sorry if I have been yabbling on. I hope I've made some kind of sense. I don't think I've gone on any tangents this video. There's time yet. I haven't said goodbye. It might happen. Anyway, let's dive into that before I do go into a tangent. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have so much fun doing it. Whatever you're reading, I hope you love it. Stay fabulous, be amazing, be yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye-bye. Hi guys, it's Graham again. Hello. Hiya. No bother at all. Okie doke. See you soon. Bless me. Bless me. Achoo. Achoo. Hi guys, it's Graham again. Hi guys, it's Graham again, and welcome back to my channel.